Hello and welcome to another week of Kerigorrical's weekly pub quiz, this time for the 23rd of March 2018. This one's going to be going up a bit late because various reasons, and if my voice sounds a bit hoarse, that has something to do with it. I'm not feeling 100% this week, but that shouldn't stop me delivering the quiz. So let's pop the background music on and get on with it. So, the rules are, as always, you should give yourself 60 to 90 seconds per question. We will go through every question before we start going through the answers. There are 19 questions. Question 10 will have 2 parts. Question 19 will have 5. Alright, to begin, question 1. What year came before the year 1 CE? You must use the correct labelling letters if any would be appropriate. So 1 CE is the year 1 with the label CE. What year came before that? Question 2. The Mariana Trench, and specifically the Challenger Deep, is the deepest point on Earth. How deep is it to the nearest kilometre? A. 3 kilometres, B. 7 kilometres, C. 11 kilometres, or D. 15 kilometres? It's a nice easy multiple choice. Question 3. In the film The Terminator, what is the full name of the time-travelling human soldier? And to be clear, we are talking about the original film The Terminator featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Question 4. On which Mediterranean island was Napoleon Bonaparte born in 1769? A. Sardinia, B. Majorca, C. Corsica, D. Rhodes, E. Elba, or F. Malta? Question 5 then. Which drug introduced in 1957 was prescribed to help ease morning sickness in pregnant women, only to cause severe birth defects in the children born of those pregnancies? The case led to massive reform in the testing of new drugs and medicines before they were certified. Question 6. Below are the first 6 terms of a sequence. Give the 3 terms that come next. Half a point if you get 2 out of the 3 terms. So the terms that you are given are, in decreasing order, 144, 89, 55, 34, 21, 13, and you need the next 3 terms after that. Question 7. In the Bible, what did God give to Noah as a symbol of his promise to never again destroy the world with a flood? Question 8. George Washington is the canonical first president of the independent USA, but who was the first president of the USA to have been born in the USA, that is, after independence? Was it A, the 4th president, James Madison, B, the 8th president, Martin Van Buren, C, the 12th president, Zachary Taylor, or D, the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln? Question 9. Simon and Garfunkel were an American folk rock duo made up of a person with the last name Simon and a person with the last name Garfunkel. Shock horror. For half a point each, what are the first names of these 2 artists? Question 10. This is a 2-parter. Helsinki is the capital of Finland, and it is one of the 5 capitals of a UN member country to begin with the letter H. Name another capital that begins with H, or the country that contains that capital, for 1 point. And for the second part, name a 3rd capital city that begins with H, or the country that contains it. So you can guess for either the name of the city, which begins with H, or the name of the country that contains the city that begins with H. And as a warning, there are 4 non-UN answers that will not be worth points here. Question 11. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. This inscription on the 1 ring of Sauron describes its power over the other great rings. How many of these other great rings were given to the elven kings? So We're looking for a number of rings. Okay, question 12. World War II began in Europe when Nazi Germany invaded Poland on the 1st of which month in 1939? If you're out by 1 month, you may have half a point. Question 13. This is the acronyms question. Expand any one of these for the point. HSBC has a nasty history of money laundering. The product was offered OTC. Blu-ray will soon completely replace the DVD. I am aware that TM is an acronym, but you may not expand that. It's only there as a joke for people who play Blizzard games or Valve games. Question 14. The Salem Witch Trials were an atrocity where, in an atmosphere of mass hysteria, 14 women and 6 men were convicted of witchcraft and executed. Answer either one of the following. Name one of the 2 execution methods used, or give the year, ±10, in which the trials took place. Question 15. This is the anagram. We're looking for a world political figure from history. In the anagram, add #moaning. As usual, this is first and last name, unless otherwise stated, so it's just a 2-name thing. Question 16. In rugby, during normal play, the ball may be kicked over the goal between the uprights. This scores a drop goal for the kicker's team. How many points is a drop goal worth? Question 17. This is the what year question. In this year, George H.W. Bush meets Boris Yeltsin at Camp David, where they formally declare that the Cold War is over. The Maastricht Treaty is signed, founding the Eurozone. Microsoft releases Windows 3.1 in stores everywhere. Space Shuttle Endeavour makes its maiden flight as a replacement for Space Shuttle Challenger. The Church of England votes to allow women to become priests. John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus and the footballer Neymar are all born. What year? Question 18. This is about chemical elements. Gold is the heaviest precious metal by atomic number, with an atomic number of 79. Name any one of the heavier elements up to the element with the atomic number 100. There are 5 elements in this possibility space that do not end in ium, and all the rest of them do. I appreciate that it's not strictly the correct word to use, heaviest, but I've used it anyway. Question 19 is the 5-parter, and today our theme is extinct animals. For 19A, the dodo was a flightless bird endemic to a single island. Name the island. A couple of nearby islands will award half credit. 19B, the woolly mammoth was once found widely across the world, but it declined and eventually died out. Approximately when did the last mammoth die? 12,500 years ago, as farming was becoming common. 10,000 years ago, as cows were domesticated. 7,500 years ago, as we learned to smelt copper. Or 4,500 years ago, as the first pyramids were built. Question 19C. Until 2012, when he died at around 102, there was a tortoise, the sole living member of his species. Answer either one. What was his name, or where did he live? Question 19D. The thylacine was an apex predator, the largest known carnivorous marsupial of modern times. The last known individual died in captivity in 1936. What was this species better known as? And to round out our extinct animals, 19E. What kind of dinosaur is shown in the image to the left? The image is, of course, a still from the film Jurassic Park. So that brings us to the end of the regular questions. Since you're doing the video version, the song this week is Dreamer, it's called, and it goes Dreamer, Nothing but a dreamer. Come and put your hands in the air. Whoa, no. And if you don't get it from that, then I'm sorry, my impression must be terrible, or you just don't know it. But it'll come round. Now, if my singing hasn't scared you off, it's time to go through the answers. Make sure that you've locked in all your guesses, because here we go. Question 1, the answer was 1 BCE. CE is a new-ish politically correct thing, since AD means in the year of our Lord. Non-Christians can get a bit finicky about it. CE simply means Christian era, and BCE means before Christian era. Question 2. The Mariana Trench is 11 kilometres deep. Please ignore my Facebook message. Question 3. The film The Terminator features the time-travelling human soldier Kyle Reese, the eventual father of John Connor, who is not conceived during that movie. Oh, well, he is, but the answer is Kyle Reese. Question 4. Napoleon was born on Corsica, which is actually the only one of those islands that is part of France. He was exiled to Elba later in life, though, so if you said Elba, that might be what confused you. Question 5. The drug here that had tragic consequences was thalidomide. Question 6, the maths question. Some of you might have spotted that this was the Fibonacci sequence playing out in reverse, or figured out that you could just take the terms away from each other to descend down the sequence, and it gives you that 8, 5, and 3 are the correct next 3. If you got 2 of those out of 3, then you can have half a point. Question 7. God gave the rainbow, or a rainbow, so that even when it's raining, you would be able to see that God promises not to just destroy the world with rain. Question 8. Martin Van Buren, the 8th president, was born in the independent USA before becoming president. He was also the only president who did not speak English as his first language. His first language was Dutch. Question 9. Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. Both good musicians in their own right, although Paul Simon's solo career was, more notable. Question 10. You could have had any 2 from Hanoi, Vietnam, Harare, Zimbabwe, Havana, Cuba, or Honiara in the Solomon Islands. If you gave the country, that's enough, but you need 2 different options from this list, either country or city, to get 2 points for this 2-parter. Question 11. 3 rings were given to the elven kings. 7 to the dwarves and 9 to the men in total. But 3 for the elves is the answer here. Question 12. The invasion of Poland was on the 1st of September, and you may have half if you were a month out, so August or October. Question 13. The acronyms. HSBC is the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. OTC is over-the-counter, and DVD is digital versatile discs, or disc, singular, is also fine. It's not video though. Digital video disc is wrong. Question 14. The Salem Witch Trials. The 2 execution methods were hanging. In 19 of the cases, the witches were hung, and crushing or pressing. In 1 case, they piled rocks on the man until he died. They occurred in 1692 and 3. It went over the New Year boundary, so you can have anything between 1682 and 1703 if you were going for the date. Question 15. The anagram was Mohandas Gandhi. Mahatma was a title given to him later in life. His name was Mohandas, although I may not be pronouncing it correctly, as usual. Question 16. A drop goal is worth 3 points for the kicker's team. Question 17. This year was 1992, relatively recent for one of my what years. Question 18. You could have had any one of these heavier elements: mercury, thallium, lead, bismuth, polonium, astatine, radon, francium, radium, actinium, thorium, protractinum, uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americum, curium, berkelium, californium, einsteinium, or fermium. And the underlined ones are the 5 that don't end in ium. Question 19a. Mauritius was the island home of the dodo bird before it was made extinct. The nearby islands of Madagascar and Reunion are worth half a point if you said one of those. Question 19b. Mammoths actually survived until 4,500 years ago as the pyramids were being built, although obviously not where the pyramids were being built. They lived on some islands in the north of modern-day Russia. Question 19c. Lonesome George, who I remember seeing on Blue Peter when I was young. He lived on the Galapagos Islands, and specifically Pinta Island. Galapagos is enough, though. Question 19d. The thylacine was better known as the Tasmanian tiger for the stripes shown on this CG recreation. It's a pretty tragic story about how it went extinct, but yeah. 19e. The dinosaur is a Brachiosaurus, the long-necked herbivore seen at the start of the movie. And for those of you who were guessing at my terrible singing, it was a rendition of Supertramp's Dreamer. So Supertramp is where you get the point. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this quiz. You can add up your points now and see how you did. Comment about it on Reddit, and I hope you enjoyed it, even if I'm not feeling great. And I'm sorry that it was late, but sometimes you haven't really got an option. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find me on Patreon, Reddit, various other things if you want to support me in doing this. It's always very much appreciated, and have a great week, everybody.